origin store. Oh yeah, Alan Lang watching chocolate prefer. Movie and TV show reviews what you need. Film threads on fire, we're planting the seeds. Film thread, we keep it real. Dive into the stories, you know the deal. Turn your phone, it's the place to be. Movie lovers gather round. 1, 2, 3.
Welcome everyone. Happy Friday. Tons of movies to review today. Some big Fantastic Four news. And Taika Waititi is directing Judge Dredd. Plus, an interview with the filmmakers behind ZombieCON. We want to tell you about it and let you know about this film. Plus, your chat, comments, and questions. And my friend and convention husband, Erin Áine. Yes, that's right. We are going to San Diego Comic-Con next week, and we're bringing you all the news from there. I can't wait to talk to you about it. So let's get going. Let's discuss it. Come on. Where is that guy?
Hello, everyone. Let me introduce myself. My name is A.I. Allen. And unless I have a malfunction, I will search for Alan. Alan.
That's not going to do it. This one will work.
I asked Chris Gore if my AI could promote my new movie. He said, of course, so long as I helped look for his friend Alan. How could I say no? Now, to my film threat fans and my haters, go out on July 25th and watch the Fantastic Four First Steps. Okay, now, Mr. Ing, Alan.
Wait a minute. I just saw him in a movie yesterday.
I saw him in a movie a few weeks ago, Materialists. Saw him in another movie, Eddington, which I cannot wait to talk about because I'm not sure if we agree. No spoilers, Alan.
Okay.
Yeah, we have tons of reviews and news. Let's see who's here and really get going. But one thing I want to actually say to our audience, I know there's a lot going on in the world. I see a lot in my YouTube feed. And I just want to say, if you are looking for the number one source on news about Epstein, look no further than look further, because we are your last source. We don't know anything. We're not keeping up. We're pretty much going to movies. So if you want the real hard truth and insight into Epstein, this is not the place. Alan, would you agree?
Yes. I would say of all the places you can go, Film Threat is not that place.
Yes. In terms of Epstein news, we got it not covered because we're not covering it. So I know a lot of places are. It tends to come up. We just talk about movies.
Yeah. And tariffs. Let's talk about tariffs.
And with tariffs. Well, if you're talking tariffs, Film Threat is a place. But if you're talking Epstein, go some other place.
Yeah, like every other channel on that.
Yeah, like every other channel has got your Epstein covered. We do not. Yeah. So there you go.
I mean, I heard D-Day Cobra was talking about it.
He might have been. He might have been.
Yeah.
Hey, let's see who's in the chat.
Yeah, you know who's in the chat? Press M to start. .90. Happy Friday, my dudes. Hope y'all ready for San Diego Comic-Con. I am not ready for San Diego.
I'm not ready. Hey, M, bring a bag. I'm bringing DVDs. I think it's easier than mailing them. I'll bring a big bag.
I'm debating on whether to show up on Wednesday or not. But Jinx VC6Ds.
No, don't do the number thing. Just do the name. Sorry, folks.
Well, but I think isn't the VC6Ds something? I don't know. It's usually
I don't know.
Will Superman blow SMURFS box office?
The answer is no, and I think you mean blue SMURFS box office.
No, will it? Okay. Hertz Donut. See you in San Diego Comic-Con.
I cannot
make
wait.
sure you have a name tag on, by the way.
Yeah. So wait, that's not what I meant to put up. I'm gonna put up our shop. That's right. Our shop is right here. Let's go, folks. Yeah. Continue, Alan.
All right, here we go. Hail, Chris, Alan, and the rest of you beautiful drunks on the Film Threat channel.
We are.
Nick XH8, let me guess, more Superman talk.
Oddly, we have no. It might come up because it is a big movie and release its second weekend, but you know, I don't think we have any Superman news. It's Godzilla news and other stuff.
Thumbs up, 1981 for $4.99. I missed Versus live Monday, but to answer your question, according to comics/show/cartoon, his name is pronounced Mix-Yell Piddleflick. Piddlelick.
Mix, yes, Piddlelick, Mixel. I always just say Mixelplix, but thank you, thumbs up.
You know, Super Friends pronounce it Mixelplick.
Oh, cool. And also, by the way, I should bring this up every time. But if you go to shop.filmthreat.com, get something from our summer collection, our superhero collection that should replace the American AF collection. Let's put the superhero collection up there. That's for Lori. Funeral for a Franchise, back for a limited time. Our geek collection, go to that. And Film Threat t-shirts. This is proven by a doctor. Cure nudity on contact. Alan, you've had that experience.
Yes.
Alan, let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
How often do you find yourself nude in public?
Oh, all the time. But you know what I do?
What?
I put on a Film Threat t-shirt.
That's right.
And I am not nude from the top up or from the middle up.
4 out of 5 doctors prescribe a Film Threat t-shirt as a cure for nudity. How often do you hear about cures? It's always a treatment.
Yeah.
But
when I'm in nude in public, the theme is nothing to see here.
That would be the same for me as well. Oh my God. Well, thank you for tolerating our bad.
We're getting a lot of Ari Aster super chats, by the way. So you want to?
We're gonna save that for when we talk about Eddington. But we have news, and let's get to it. Taika Waititi is tackling Judge Dredd. That's right. There's a new Judge Dredd movie. I mean, you've got your Stallone one. That one a lot of people like is a classic. You've got the one with Carl Urban. But Taika Waititi is going to direct the Judge Dredd movie. Is this a good idea? I'll say I'm not that excited. What do you think, Alan? Give us the crux of the story.
Sure. Taika Waititi is stepping into the world of Judge Dredd, teaming with writer Drew Pearce on a new feature film adaptation of the iconic violent British comic book character. The project is already stirring excitement in Hollywood as one of the year's hottest packages, with Pearce, known for The Fall Guy and Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, on script duties with Waititi, director of Thor Ragnarok, Jojo Rabbit. I should also mention What We Do in the Shadows. Waititi and Pearce, who grew up fans of the Dredd comics, have long wanted to collaborate, plan to bring a version closer to the source material. The movie will be repeatedly lean into the comics world building and satirical dark humor, aiming for a fun sci-fi blockbuster that still reflects today's cultural climate. Let's see. Let's see. That's about it.
Yeah, it's Drew Pearce is the screenwriter, and he did Fall Guy and Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. I think that's a plus. I think if Taika Waititi has the same issue as James Gunn. He needs to be, for certain films, needs to maybe tone down his personal stamp and let the movie be the movie or the character. I don't
He's
see
also much better with original material than with adapted material.
Yes, Taika Waititi is really good with original material. But I think when it comes to big franchises, I don't think he's not my first choice. I'd rather see someone else.
Yeah, I mean, the only upside is, according to the article, they grew up fans of the Dredd comics and have long wanted to collaborate. Is that true?
I mean, look, if you're getting hired for a job that pays million plus, you're a fan of that thing.
Yeah.
Or at least you're good at saying you're a fan of that thing.
Yeah. I mean, when Kenneth Branagh did Thor, the first Thor movie, he was a legit fan of it. And I think that's probably one of the best Thor movies we've gotten.
Yeah. Yeah. So, cool. All right. More news. And I'm excited about this news. The Tron Ares trailer has dropped, a new trailer, not a teaser, a little bit more about what the story is for Tron Ares. I'm excited to see it. This is a very different vision for the Tron series. I have seen this. I'd love to watch it with you guys, see what you think. In particular, the music by 9 Inch Nails, I am all in. Alan, you ready for this?
Yes.
Okay, let's go.
Since time began, man has gazed at the stars and he has wondered, am I alone? So much talk of AI and big tech today. Virtual worlds, what are they going to look like? When will we get there? Well, folks, we're not going there. They are coming here. I would like you to meet Ares, the ultimate soldier. He's biblically strong, lightning fast, supremely intelligent. And if he is struck down on the battlefield, I will simply make you another.
You think you're in control of this? You're not.
I'm liking what I see, but I have to back up a bit to this shot here. The buildup is great, and then right here, watch closely. A bunch of this. I don't know if she fits in that suit. I'm not trying to be too harsh, but look.
You think you're in control of this? You're not. What are you?
I'm looking for something. Something I do not understand.
Hang on!
A malfunctioning program that wants to live. Why is that? It's just a feeling. Fascinating.
All right. I'm in. I like it. One thing I know that'll be good is the music. Jeff Bridges channeling Jor-El was kind of funny there. That was weird. Look, it's heavy on spectacle. What do you think, Alan?
Yeah. I mean, if it didn't have the name Disney slapped on it, I'd probably be much more excited about this movie.
Yeah, that's the thing, Disney. Because we're going to get diversity in Tron world, which which is whatever.
Yeah,
It's
I don't know if you noticed, but they cast an Asian.
There are Asians
in a movie about computers. They put Asians in it. So good job, Disney.
Yeah.
Well done. That wasn't so hard, was it?
Yeah.
Well, hey, what are you doing? Hold on. Okay. Okay. There we go. I don't know what that was. That was Tron. I feel like also look because Disney's name is slapped on it. Uh, the the cynical side of me says that everything you saw in this trailer is the most exciting part, and there's nothing else in the movie that's that exciting.
I got another trailer for you, Alan.
Yeah.
I got another one. Mortal Kombat in theaters October 24th. Honestly, not really looking forward to it. I heard, this is happening. We got the trailer. Carl Urban as Johnny Cage. I played Mortal Kombat back in the day. I'm talking 90s. Sega Genesis version with blood. And the SNES version, we called it SNES, not Super NES. SNES version was toned down. But let's take a look at this. And this is the R-rated trailer, and it lives up to it. This is what they call the red band trailer. Let's look at it, Alan. It'll live up to that red background. Here we go.
Yeah,
I like the fatalities. I think it's that looks pretty R-rated to me.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see if we get away with what we saw. There is, in connection with that, another trailer. It's a 1-minute spot on Johnny Cage. I do like Johnny Cage being kind of a washed up has-been action star, like the movie Citizen Cage that was referenced. That's pretty cool. So let's see. Let's take a look at this 1-minute spot. That was awesome. A fake trailer promoting him. I like it. I like it. What do you think, Alan?
Yeah, I'm in. Maybe some fun finally this year.
Look, I played the classic Mortal Kombat games. So
I just some context. So I remember watching the video game, the arcade game in 1990. Was the SNES versions after that or before it?
No, they came out together. It was on all platforms when the Mortal Kombat games came out. I mean, it was in arcades first. Yeah. And then it was almost like a theatrical release coming to home video. So the Mortal Kombat games came to arcades. Then they would do the home version. And the home version's obviously stripped down, but the Sega Genesis version always had the blood. So that's what I
remember the video game. It was something that it was at the arcade and people just stood around it watching it being played. I remember being enamored by it, just standing there for like an hour or so watching this game because I'd never seen anything like it before.
Yeah, no, it's I love those games. They were wild, and I don't know. The new modern versions I have not caught up, but I'll go see this. I like Carl Urban.
Yeah.
More news. Godzilla -1, the sequel, is confirmed. This is great news if you're a Godzilla fan. Shin Godzilla is being re-released to theaters in August, I believe, in 4K. Godzilla -1. I mean, this is not a surprise to people. Let me throw up the story here, and I have other Godzilla-related news. Alan, only because you're Asian, would you read the story?
Oh, yes. Well, Toho Company, the legendary Japanese studio behind Godzilla, is finally making a major international push under CEO Hiroyasu Matsuoka.
How are you bad at pronouncing this?
Well, because I'm dyslexic, and there are a hell of a lot of consonants that I'm staring at. The great-grandson of the company's founder, although Godzilla is the global icon spanning 38 films, $3 billion at the box office, and countless merchandise, few outside Japan know Toho itself. He took the helm in 2022, determined to change. For Toho to grow, or for any Japanese company to grow, we have to really see opportunities outside of Japan. A major turning point for Toho came with the 2023 release of Godzilla -1. the Japanese language film that redefined the studio's global ambitions. Produced for just $15 million, the film shattered expectations, earning $114 million worldwide and winning an Oscar for special effects. Let's see. Buoyed by success, Toho is now planning a sequel to -1 as soon as next year, alongside the potential follow-up of Shin Godzilla. Once we find it, the opportunity is going to be massive. The studio's strategy is clear. Own more of its content and emulate models like Netflix and Nintendo by capitalizing directly from their IP. -1 didn't revive Godzilla for a new era. It gave Toho a template for future blockbusters that speak to global audiences while preserving creative and financial control.
Now, I saw Godzilla 1, I think 8 times in a theater the year it was released. I love that film. I was fortunate to go to a screening at the American Cinematheque, and the director spoke about a sequel, and he said that this is what he said. I believe the Q&A for that that screening is actually on the members only videos. If you're a member of the channel, look it up. He spoke about what he would do for a sequel. One, he would set it in the 60s. The second thing is he didn't say this monster would be in it, but he said Monster Zero or King Ghidorah. He was a fan of King Ghidorah, so he would want to bring King Ghidorah. Now, there was no sequel confirmed at the time he did this Q&A, but people were excited and said, where would this series go? So it would be set much later in the timeline and be in the 60s with, Monster Zero, King Ghidorah. That is only what he said at a Q&A, speculating, not formal announcement. I will say I have something related to this that you may not know about, but I keep up with these things, Alan. So I keep up with it. But this is from Bloody Disgusting. The first look at Godzilla -1 director's Mecha Godzilla design for Godzilla the Ride, Great Clash. So the director of Godzilla -1, Takashi Yamazaki, he is doing the video for the Godzilla the Ride, and this is you can see it here in the visual, his design for Mecha Godzilla. So I quite like it. So looking forward to that. This is the promo for the ride. Here you see Godzilla fighting Mecha Godzilla, and I'm assuming that you're in the paddle boat, right? It's one of those rides where you're basically watching a movie and being, thrown around. So I would go to Japan. Wait, it's set to open in South Korea's Lotte World Adventure in December. I would travel to do this. I've always wanted to stay at the Godzilla Hotel. There are lots of videos online about the Godzilla Hotel. I've always wanted to go. So I don't know. What do you think, Alan? Oh, Alan's having some issues. Anyways, I'm a big fan. I can't wait to see it. I love all things Godzilla, and I will be there for it. So there you go. Yeah. Alan says, be right back. Okay. Moving on to the next story.
I'm back.
All good?
Yeah, all good.
It's funny. The one time we're talking about Asians, you dip out.
Yes. Well, I'm pretty sure it was about how intellectually dominant we are over all races. And how we do the best dry cleaning and restaurant food.
I don't trust any dry cleaning. That's not, I need to see people who don't speak my language.
Yeah. And here's a hint: when you go to restaurants, if there's not a C in the window, it's not authentic.
Right. There has to be a C.
Yeah. Not an A, not a B. Has to be.
But by the way, this
Chinese.
This goes for Mexican food as well. Like, I want someone waiting on me I can barely understand.
I want remnants of the previous meal in my meal.
Hey, we've got some big Fantastic Four news, but before we do that, one more news story. Inside Hollywood's AI civil war. We've talked about AI and how it will impact Hollywood on the show often. This is from the Hollywood Reporter. This is a topic we will revisit often. And I love this graphic the Hollywood Reporter did. It's the Hollywood sign, but with the O as HAL 9000's eye, camera lens eye. Alan, you've got notes for the story. Please, what are they saying?
Yes. Hold on. Okay, it's at the top. In a vintage studio on LA's East Side, Natasha Lyonne sat with a joystick, not for gaming, but to manipulate AI-generated visuals on a large screen, toggling through melting digital images that morphed in real time. Lyonne, alongside her partner Bryn Moser, co-founder of Hysteria, an AI entertainment startup backed by CAA's Moon Valley. They're developing new ways to integrate AI into filmmaking, including an upcoming project with Britt Marling and Jaron Lanier called Uncanny Valley, one of the first films built around AI-generated media. It feels here what the beginning of Pixar must have felt like, Lyonne says. Hysteria is one node of Hollywood's escalating AI revolution. Startups like Runway AI and Luma AI, along with curious filmmakers like Darren Aronofsky and James Cameron, are experimenting with tools that can generate complex video from text prompts or data models. Studio executives see this as a way to slash production costs. Why send a crew on location when a machine can generate it in seconds? As Luma AI CEO Amit John bluntly asks, why are you making 5 films a year when you could be making 50? You should be making 100. Yet the tech-driven future has sparked a growing backlash. Critics like Justine Bateman argue that AI is the regurgitation of the past, synthesizing pre-existing human artistry without creating anything genuinely new. Labor unions, including SAG and WJ, fear job losses, while studios remain conflicted. They want the savings, but fear ceding creative control or disrupting their business model entirely. Let's see. Pete Doctor asks, how much should we be letting machines do the work? A screenwriter, John Lopez, asks, AI preempts that process because it reduces everything to one person working with a model. There's no way one dude at a keyboard has the creative impulses to match 500 brains. Aronofsky is trying to use AI to tell emotional story-driven films even though he admits he is figuring it out, there are no stories, there are no emotions to it.
I agree with Justine Bateman, and I felt like this. I feel like it's just AI creates nothing new. It's a randomizer. Now, I do think it can be a tool for special effects and probably animation, but in terms of creativity, and I'll discuss it when I review. I Know What You Did Last Summer, the 2025 edition, feels like it was written by AI. It literally feels like it because it's taking stuff from the past and remixing it. So I do look that I'm not saying it was made with AI. I'm saying the people making the reboots of classic and older IP that are making the new version, that's not creative. And that's what AI is. I agree with Justine Bateman. It creates nothing new. I prefer human creativity. You'll get nothing new. Could you get a Star Wars sequel that might be better than what we got made by humans? Maybe. But I don't think it will create anything new. It will be the death of all kinds of art. What motivation is there? What motivation is there to learn to draw in a style? And I have lots of friends who are illustrators and artists. And one of the things they say it's really hard to draw are hands, right? They're constantly trying to get hands right. It's a skill. But AI can do that in various styles like that. What motivation is there now to learn that kind of skill and apply yourself when AI can do that? And I've said this before. In the 23rd century, in our Star Trek timeline, if Star Trek is our future, in the Star Trek franchise, it is the future of mankind. One of the things that they don't talk about in Star Trek is modern music or movies or even literature. They always reference old literature and old art. And I always thought that was really weird. But now that we've reached this place in history, there is a time when that may have ended, where what's the point of learning a musical instrument when I push a button and can conduct a whole orchestra? Look, and I'm not saying it's pure evil. I'm saying it's going to do some things that may not be the best for us. And I am cautious. So this is a conversation that needs to be had. And this whole thing of the quote from the article that you read about being able to make 50 or 100 movies instead of 10, I don't know that that's good. Alan, your thoughts, and then we'll go to comments.
Yeah. I mean, good movies are fun. I guess AI can create a good movie, but it can never create a classic. I mean, think about the classic movies, the movies that you watch over and over again, movies that speak to you. What AI is doing is it's causing creative atrophy, because people are not. AI is a crutch now, and people just will rely on it to inspire them to create something, but it's not going to come anywhere near producing the classics of the past. And I don't know why we keep going to the past and why we keep saying they're all classics, because they are. And we just don't strive for that anymore. This is my biggest complaint with Hollywood today is I miss a movie that touches me intellectually, emotionally, in the heart. All we're just getting is regurgitation after regurgitation. And the fact that people can't write classics anymore and now they're relying on AI just means, again, we are reaching a point of creative atrophy. Writers, artists will never aspire beyond AI because they rely on it too much.
Let's go to comments, and then we have a news story about the Fantastic Four that contains spoilers. So I'm warning you now, Fantastic Four, and then we're going to reviews.
We're going to
guess what? We're not covering Superman today.
Okay. Sons and Shadows cast gifted 5 Film Threat memberships. Thank you
for that.
Paul Piercer rocks 199. Did Ari Aster peak with Hereditary? Was that his first movie?
I believe so. And then Midsummer, and then Beau is Afraid. No, we'll talk about it. Thanks, Paul.
Okay. All right. Sons and Shadow cast for 2. Taika, sorry. Absolutely not. Wrong choice, period.
Yes.
Press M to start for 2. I'll be there all 4 days, and the meetup bag ready.
I will probably not take the DVDs to the meetup, but I'll have them at Gabe Al-Taib's booth when we do signings.
Burt Face, member for 4 months. Thank you for re-upping. Fed off for a buck. It's just
Thank
fed
you.
off. BMO better. I like when Tom stays in the computer world. Oh, Tron. Sorry. StreamYard has made the screen smaller. Let's just put it that way. Aryan 69 for 96 for 40. Mortal Kombat 2 looks good. Real good. I'm excited.
Same. I'm excited.
Press him to start for 2. Godzilla has 70 panels on Friday.
No, Godzilla at 70. Panel Friday, 4:15, room 60E. Come on.
Olf 42 for 499. I'm looking forward to Godzilla +1. Allegedly, it's about Godzilla taking a guest to a wedding.
That I will watch that.
I think it should be Godzilla square root of -1. Aryan 69 for 96 for 40. Guns, Superman seems done. Feel bad for David Cornsweat. Yeah, poor guy. Royston Bailey for 2. The general population will accept AI slop. No, they won't. They'll go to other media. Pilgrim Media for 2. I use AI noise reduction in fine art portraits.
Fair.
Yeah. Napsky for 5. As the Fantastic Four ship goes through the portal in Thunderbolts, replace Pedro with David Cornsweat.
That would be great.
Yeah, Council of Reeds there. You could be one of them.
Hey, let's get a sneak peek at the Fantastic Four.
Oh, we're gonna really spoil
first steps. Hey, real quick, to Lori, cut that part out when you popped on. And Alan, it's okay to not have thoughts about a story.
Okay, I'm just saying.
I feel like, and also when
we're gonna really spoil this. I mean, like,
when I go to this mode, we're like this. That means wrap up.
Know.
That means wrap up.
We've
got a whole bunch of films to review. We've got news stories and an interview. So I keep the show moving.
Right. I'm just afraid you're gonna do something that I'm not gonna like. But go ahead.
Please, if I do something you don't like, just call it out.
All right.
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
I don't care. But I like there's a lot of things I have no opinion on. We mentioned Epstein. I stay out of that. That's for other people more informed to give their opinion.
Right. But as our chat always says, spoiling is the worst crime we commit.
Yes, and you will be given many warnings before what I'm about to show you.
Okay, go for it.
Let's talk about it. The Fantastic Four First Steps will give us a sneak peek at the villains. Would you like to see this, Alan?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. So, okay, I'm going to bring this story up. The complicated foes, as they are calling it. I'm now, because of my somewhat disappointment with Superman not really failing to soar, for me at least, I'm now kind of excited to see the Fantastic Four. I think it could be a better movie. It could be a better movie. And this story
that image doesn't
from USA Today, Fantastic Four first look, meet the complicated foes for Marvel's heroes. Let's see, we've got Shalabal, Silver Surfer. Do you have notes on this story? Look it up. Paul Walter Hauser is the Mole Man, and this is what he looks like. He's wearing a tracksuit. He does have those goggles. The goggles are accurate. I love Paul. Whenever he shows up, he really does something unique. So I think we're going to see these characters in quick montage. We have Julia Garner's Silver Surfer. Of course, Galactus. Ralph Ineson plays Galactus. And I heard that John Malkovich's character was cut out.
That's what I heard. I do have notes. I do have notes on this.
Do you have something else to do today, Alan? Is you're being distracted quite a bit, I noticed.
Yes. A lot of things going on.
Okay, then let's get to the notes for this story.
All right. In the Fantastic Four First Steps, Ralph Ineson steps into some massive shoes, literally, as Galactus, the planet devourer, cosmic force, making his MCU debut. But Ineson isn't Galactus. Ineson insists Galactus isn't exactly evil, just an essential force of the universe, doing what he does without malice. Set in the 60s, the film introduces core heroes while also unveiling 3 complex villains. First up is Mole Man, Paul Walter Hauser. Shackman describes it as more of a union boss than a supervillain, leading an underground community and clashing with the Fantastic Four over political power struggles. Then there's Julia Garner's Silver Surfer, a guilt-ridden anti-heroine delivering the grim news that Galactus is coming. She's got a heavy backstory tied to her family themes, and Shackman teases she tells Earth to hold your loved ones close, speak the words you've been afraid to speak. As for Galactus, the filmmakers are keeping a full reveal under wraps, showing just glimpses of his imposing figure in trailers to save the big moment for audiences. Let's see.
Well, I get it. You don't need to read anymore. Look, I don't know, Paul Walter Hauser, that does not give. He's in a tracksuit.
Yeah, but he's got the goggles.
The goggles accurate, the tracksuit not so much. Where's the cloak? I don't know. I'm not impressed. I like Paul. When I heard he was cast, I think that's good. I do like that they have not shown Galactus. But I'll tell you this. The Fantastic Four First Steps soundtrack is out. And I'm excited. It's the same, it is the same composer as the Batman, Michael Giacchino. And we've heard the Fantastic Four. I think every time I hear that now, it's like they worked it into the music, the title of the movie. The soundtrack listings, much like Star Wars Episode 1, the listings of the tracks for the soundtrack were spoilers. To be specific, Qui-Gon's Funeral was the name of a track for the Star Wars Episode 1 soundtrack. Well, the Fantastic Four First Steps soundtrack listings have spoilers. Dip out now if you don't want to see this. I will put the playlist up on screen. We will read some of these. Check it out. Here we go. So we've got, pregnancy testing, 1, 2, 3. Okay, we know about
pregnant?
that. Yeah. Harold today, gone tomorrow. Out to launch. They're being cheeky here. A Galactus case of the munchies. Bowel before me. The light speed of your life. Nothing neutron under the sun. Starship birth. Is Franklin born in space? Fantastic voyage. The bridges of Silver Surfer County. Are we going to see Silver Surfer on Shalabal's homeworld? A mole in your plan. A walk on the city. The other Sue drops. Don't sue the baby. Without further ado. Car seat drivers. Fantastic Four to be reckoned with. Some other tracks here. The Ted Gilbert Show. Herbie's Lullaby. Let Us Be Devoured. These tracks are now up on Spotify to listen. I'm adding that to my library. So there you go. I will give it a listen. Could be considered spoilers. What do you think, Alan?
Yeah. That's why I try not to look this stuff up before a movie comes out. I barely like the trailers. I mean, in Empire Strikes Back, the track Luke, I Am Your Father just ruined it for me. I wish they would title these things better. In Citizen Kane, the track Snow Sled. Why do people do that?
Let's go to comments, and hopefully Alan can get some coffee and wake up.
Remember Sixth Sense? He was dead all along. Awful. Press M to start for 90, or press M to start for 2. Alan is distracted by my epic YouTube channel. You're right. I've been watching your YouTube channel a while.
Thank you, Nerdrotic. Gary's texting me during the show.
Bill S. Preston Esquire.
Okay.
The cast is good, but the casting is awful. They're all in the wrong roles. SD0. Pedro would have made a better Mole Man.
I would agree. Hey, movies have been released. A lot of films are releasing to theaters, even though Superman will likely dominate for the second weekend. But there are new films playing in theaters. We will get to Eddington. Alan has seen some movies I have not, and vice versa. So let me kick things off with I Know What You Did Last Summer, 2025. This is it's not the reboot. It is the kind of sequel because there are characters from the original 1997 version in this, but this is the modern remake of the little nice quiet seaport town where a bunch of teenagers have done a wrong thing resulting in someone's death, and then a Gorton fisherman with a hook goes around doing murders to get revenge because he knows what they did last summer. If you like the original 97 version, I wasn't a huge fan. I mean, I saw it way back when. Sarah Michelle Gellar is very good in the original. It's got a good cast: Freddie Prinze Jr., Jennifer Love Hewitt, Ryan Felipe. We haven't seen him that often. And Anne Hesh, who's since passed away. This movie introduces a new cast of teenagers, and they reunite at an engagement party, and things go wrong when they are responsible for the death of a random person they didn't know. All new cast, of course, and after this, of course, they're riddled with guilt, but they're going to suppress it. 1 year later, they begin to get notes, and people surrounding these friends begin to die. Suddenly, we have Ray Bronson, Freddie Prinze Jr.'s character from the original, introduces himself into the scene and warns them. Yes, this also happened to me. You'll get through this. He tries to help. But I got to say, this is so weird because I was so annoyed by aspects of it. I don't care about this cast. I thought the characters were incredibly unlikable. The cast of new characters. And it's so weird. One of the women, Ava, is kind of gender fluid. She has a boyfriend, kinda, an old flame, but then she has this girl she hooks up with who has a podcast that leads to it. It's called Live, Pray, Slaughter. That's her podcast. And of course, it's kind of woke and gay is what I want. I'm not gonna beat around the bush. It's kind of a woke and gay version, and it's also far too long. I like my horror films a tight 90. This is an hour 51 with many false endings. And even Sarah Michelle Gellar, I'm sorry, this could be a spoiler.
No, it's been announced. We know.
It's okay. She's in the movie in a de-aged version of herself in a dream sequence. Jennifer Love Hewitt, of course, reprises her character as Julie James. It's sort of it's like, I know what you did last summer, The Next Generation, but it is god awful. From terrible dialogue, awful new characters you don't care about, twists that you can kind of see coming, but then you're like, that was really dumb. And the kills are not clever or funny. If I'm going to see a horror film, I want to see some clever kills. Show me someone getting killed in a way I've never seen. That was clever, like In a Violent Nature. Very good. Probably one of the most clever kills I've seen in years. But this was the Gorton Fisherman Strikes Again. Hard pass. Cannot recommend. 2 out of 10. Don't waste your time. And it felt long. Hour 51. So cannot recommend. I Know What You Did Last Summer, 2025.
You know why the first one was so popular?
The cast.
Sarah Michelle Gellar, Freddie Prinze Jr., Jennifer Love Hewitt.
They were great.
And we knew who they were.
Yes.
You know, it was like, oh my God, these people are together. We need to see this movie. That's why casting is so important in films like this.
Yes.
This one, who do you know of this cast?
No one, but it's
but you do know one. The guy played Prince Eric in the new Little Mermaid movie.
Right. Whatever. I'll just say this. What they did is they really targeted like woke Gen Z. I don't know if Gen Z, but it feels very much like the gender fluidity, the this and the it's all very modern in that way. And it was distracting. I couldn't follow, like, wait, she was with this guy, but now she's hooking up or what? And there's no explanation.
Yeah. And a lot of that causes character confusion because you have stars in the original. You're able to keep track of characters much better than people you don't know who look fairly generic in the same here. And then also, you talk about it's meant for Gen Z. I'm going to submit to you that Gen Z is not as woke as they think they are,
Right.
and that this movie is not going to appeal to them at all.
I would say I feel like it's actually studios thinking this is what people want,
Mm-hmm.
and then doing that, and then audiences rejecting it. They're rejecting it.
Like you described a gender fluid character, which is essentially bi.
Right, she's bi, but I don't know. I feel like there were things cut out. Like there was a conversation. She's all nervous going to this engagement party because her old boyfriend will be there, and then they don't even have a conversation about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
something was cut.
Yeah, or it speaks to your AI script. The fact that
totally AI.
Yeah, the fact that interesting ideas are thrown in but never pays off.
Hey, let's review a movie I haven't seen.
Yeah.
Alan, I have no interest in seeing Medea's Destination Wedding.
Yes.
Is there anything you can do to convince me and tell me what is your review of Tyler Perry's Medea's Destination Wedding?
Right. Well, I think the important question to ask is not who is Medea, but why is Medea? This is the 13th installment of the Medea series. I don't know if you remember Medea Goes to Jail. That's probably the only one I remember.
I don't remember any of these movies.
Yeah, the only good thing about Medea Goes to Jail is Eugene Levy and Denise Richards being in it. So Medea, created by Tyler Perry. Like I said, I don't know much about this character, but it's new on Netflix. There was a movie I couldn't see, so I thought the fitting replacement for that movie is this one. So essentially, Medea. The main character Brian, played by Tyler Perry. He's divorced. His wife doesn't have custody of the children. He has been raising his son and daughter for a very long time. Daughter all of a sudden decides that she's going to get married, and of course she marries the wrong guy. He's kind of a kind of tattooed, braided, the guy you just don't want to bring home to father, and he's very much against it. But they're going to get married nonetheless. Brian is a DA. He doesn't have much of a salary, but because he's the father who he is, he's going to pay for this wedding. And the wedding is going to be on a cruise ship. And so the boyfriend, the fiance's family comes along. And then, of course, the whole Medea gang here, who I couldn't tell you anything about it. But let's just say it's a diverse assortment of wacky characters. Some like to gamble. One just spends the entire time in the casino, charging it to the room. But the thing is Brian doesn't like the new fiance, and throughout the course that he learns to get to know him, and then he learns parenting advice from Medea and all the Medea family. And there you go. It's a nice, heartwarming family film. And if you like Medea, I guess you're gonna like this one. I couldn't. Medea is a thing.
Alan, if I could be on my phone while you were telling me the story, that's how little I care.
Yeah.
This is, I can't tell you, this is a movie where you're allowed to be on your phone because who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? I
was watching. I was taking.
I will say this. I give Tyler Perry credit. He makes movies for a very specific audience that loves his movies. I am not the audience. I don't love his movies. Never care to see one. I would be on my phone, my iPad, and my computer while this is on the TV, and would still annoy me. Do you recommend this movie?
Oh, absolutely not. It's a faith film without much faith in it. And look, but here's the thing. Medea movies make money. And I'll tell you why they make money. It's this concept called return on investment. Tyler Perry knows how much these movies make. And so he budgets the movie, the production costs of the movie in such a way that when the movie comes out, it makes money. It's a weird concept. I mean, he just doesn't throw money at it just to get it done. It just seems like he plans. He understands business. He understands business forecasting. And he adjusts accordingly.
Yeah.
And that's why he's able to make movie after movie after movie, 13 damn Medea movies.
Look, I admire Tyler Perry as a filmmaker. I think he's been very good in Gone Girl. I thought he was really good. He's been good in roles, parts I've seen him in. I admire him as a business person, but I just don't like the Medea movies. You couldn't pay me to watch one. So good on you, Alan, for taking all the bullets on this. Do you recommend it?
No. Even if you, it's. I suffered through it. I took the bullet for everybody.
Let's go to some comments here, and we've got more reviews. Let's go.
Gamer Plush 17 for 5. I'm still skeptical about Fantastic Four since this is the last movie before Doomsday, unless you want to count Spider-Man, Brand New Day.
Yeah. Thank you.
He said count Spider-Man. Final Destination Bloodlines was way more fun and a better movie on this wavelength.
From Tim is not funny. I agree. That last Final Destination movie was awesome. So, yeah.
Garth Knight Returns. This movie is a photocopy of a photocopy of another photocopy. Hollywood, you done good once more.
Yeah, it is. It feels like that.
Okay, so Tim is not funny says worst movie I've seen those year. I told myself I'd only stay until the blonde actress was killed. Ended up staying longer than I expected.
Yeah, Tim, I feel the same way. Like I was like, what am I doing?
Hold on. I'm trying to make the screen bigger and I can't read it. Mike MC Wong, they should go do a Medea Goes to Hell.
This is what I love about Alan. I know exactly what he's thinking all the time because he tells me.
Yep.
Let's see. I'm trying to make
it's called transparency. I'm not trying to hide the fact that we are the most overproduced show on the internet.
It's not overproduced. People read comments on this is a basic of streaming.
I know, but it's StreamYard made it smaller.
You want a monitor? I have a monitor. I'll give you.
All right. Napsky, next Medea movie, Breaking Out Diddy.
That would be great.
Patrick Lemire, Tyler Perry is Black Adam Sandler. Or is Adam Sandler a white Tyler Perry?
Hey, we're going to get to Eddington, but I have another film that I have seen that we should review. A movie, it's called Skillhouse. Skillhouse is playing in theaters right now. It is not part of AMC A-List, so you have to pay to go see it, which I did. It's a very simple premise for a horror film. It starts out with the streaming murder of an influencer. The lead character, his sister, gets killed live on stream. Bryce Hall watches her die, and then suddenly a bunch of influencers are drugged and wake up in a house where they have to go through a series of challenges, and each challenge will result in at least one person dying. 50 Cent actually is 50 Cent plays himself in the movie as like kind of not quite a game show host, but he's telling them what the challenge is, what they have to do. And I will say this, the challenges are kind of dumb. They're like a low rent Squid Game. You've got to do these cheap challenges and they have to get lots of likes. Whoever has the least likes will be killed off. They wake up with these collars that will tighten on them or blow up and they die. So the collars they cannot remove at any moment that can be offed. And I have to say, this is not a good movie. It's super low budget. The acting, with the exception of 50 Cent and Neil McDonough, who comes in later in the film as a cop, they're the good actors. These other actors I've never heard of. They're god awful. Apparently, they're all based on real influencers. One flamboyantly gay guy, one girl selling a water brand, another girl's like a beauty influencer. They're all these influencers. And to be fair, I despise influencers. So the idea of putting them in a house and streaming their deaths is funny. And this was made for a fraction of the budget of I Know What You Did Last Summer. And it's far more entertaining. I'm not saying it's a good horror film. I'm saying it's entertaining. Creative deaths, funny, annoying influencers that you're like, oh, I can't stand that character. But I did like when their head blew up. So I was entertained. It's a tight hour 39. Neil McDonough shows up at the end and provides a somewhat of a gravitas, and he's maniacal. So if you're looking for some fun horror and something better than I Know What You Did Last Summer, I'm giving it a bare recommend because it's not a good movie. I'm saying I was entertained because of the creative deaths and because the people getting offed, you despise them. You're like, oh, I can't stand that character. Oh, good, they're dead. Oh, that one is now being annoying. Oh, that was fun to see them die. So a bare recommend, go see it. And instead of going to see I Know What You Did Last Summer.
We should make a F&T house.
Alan.
Can you imagine?
Alan, it's time for us to talk about Eddington. This is the, I believe, fourth feature film from Ari Aster. He did the movie Hereditary. Hereditary was a great horror film. Just great. And then he did Midsummer, also very surprising horror film. And then Beau is Afraid, which I like the first half. I got a big problem with the second half. I did not like Beau is Afraid. And the thing is, even though I really enjoyed Hereditary and Midsummer, they both suffer from the same problem. They're too long. Way north of 2 hours. I feel like all of his movies would benefit from a tightening. Tighten it. So, but Eddington is his take on 2020. The year 2020, a lot happened. We had the pandemic. We had the lockdowns. We had BLM.
Yeah, George Floyd.
And George Floyd and all of that. This focuses on a small New Mexico town called Eddington. Joaquin Phoenix plays Joe Cross, the sheriff in the town. And we find them in the midst of the pandemic. And he's being schooled by two sheriffs from another town, cops saying, put your mask on. You have to have your mask on, even though he's in his car alone. Pedro Pascal plays Ted Garcia. He's the mayor of the town who's a total corporate shill. I think Ted Garcia, as played by Pedro Pascal, who I hate to admit is good in the film because you really despise his character. He's being used by some corporation that wants to work out the zoning so they can build a factory in this town.
A data center.
A data center. He's basically Gavin Newsom. He's a tool. He's a total tool that says what he's supposed to say, does what he's supposed to do because people are controlling him. Joe has issues with his wife, Louise Cross, who's suffering from trauma from something that may have happened between her and Ted. And Joe, being so frustrated with all the mask rules and whatnot, goes off, makes a video where he just, in the middle of making the video, says, and that's why I'm running for mayor. So, and the video blows up. He's now on a full campaign. He gets his deputies, Michael, played by Michael Ward, and Guy, played by Luke Grimes. They help him in his campaign. and you see the sort of political sides play out. I will say a lot of people are going to say, oh no, this movie's going to be super, it's going to push an agenda. It doesn't really. What it does is it deals with the types of people who weaponized all the rules during the pandemic. It deals with that, not left or right per se. And on that, I think the film does very good. And I'll say, when you're watching it, I saw it with a packed audience at an afternoon screening, packed screening, and people were laughing their asses off at the whole, pull it up over your nose. You can't do this. You got to be 6 feet away. When you see it dramatized in a movie, you really realize how ridiculous that whole era was. It doesn't overtly make fun of it, but just by showing it, you see how crazy people went. Additionally, George Floyd, that event happens on the news, and that there begins to be protests in town by all the young people. When that blows up, it's hilarious because it kind of mocks how these dumb white kids are taught, like, well, you don't even know about white privilege and whatever. And these teens that just want to hang out, be teens, are like, oh my God, I can't stand that social justice crap. And one character's talking to his parents and he says, white supremacy, and this is why and the dad at the table sitting with mom and dad, the dad looks at him and says, are you a fucking retard? You're white. This is like unreleasing a valve of something that Hollywood would never say about how dumb all this shit is. That's the first half of the movie. And then Joe Cross has a turn of character. And I won't go further than that. But the second half of the movie takes a turn where the audience, we're with Joe. We're with the movie. We're with Joe. His mayoral campaign, him standing up against these crazy rules. And then something happens in the middle that you kind of lose the audience. I won't go further than that, but I cannot stop thinking about this movie. I really want to see it again. It's too long, flawed, like Ari Aster's earlier movies. But God damn, if that first half of the movie, like if that first 90 minutes kind of went for another half hour and wrapped up, I would be all in. I'm giving it a recommend. I would say a strong recommend. But there are things, this will create conversations. And by the way, I saw this movie at AMC Burbank, where to this day in 2025, I still see people wearing masks. And I hope they see this movie, and I hope they see how ridiculous they look now, and maybe reevaluate how they treated others during that time, shaming others. So the movie grapples with really good ideas, gets muddled in the end, and has one of the strangest endings that might be kind of a comment on Biden. Kind of a comment, a little subtle comment on Biden. Might be. So in the end, I can't stop thinking about it. Want to see it again. Alan, what did you think of Eddington?
Yeah, everything you said is wrong.
No.
Yeah, no.
That's what I took away.
Okay. I think I wanted to believe everything you said. I wanted to believe that he was being fair. I wanted to believe that he was hitting both sides. But the more I watched it, the more I realized, no, he's not. He is showing both sides. I think there's frustrations he may have with these protesters, but not in any way that makes you think that maybe they're doing the wrong thing. They're just looking stupid. Look, we live in a country that's divided politically to the point where one side really hates the other side, and I feel like this movie is from that standpoint of the
Yes.
side that this is not a. Let's put it this way. If I were to reframe it differently than you, the feeling I got is Ari Aster He wants you to kind of sympathize with the conservatives, with the right. And so he creates characters. He gives them some sympathy and things like that. And then the second half. And let's just put it that way. Which to me is like, this is the feeling I had all the way through it. That it seems like he might like conservatives, but he doesn't. He really doesn't. And that's what I got out of this. If you told me that this was an Ari Aster movie, maybe in style, but comparing this to Heredity, to Midsummer, this is a low budget comedy. The thing that I found interesting about it is that you took the macro. Remember during 2020, all these big protests, all these things.
Yeah.
Now you throw it into this small desert town in New Mexico, and I think that was an interesting way to show it. But I will tell you the biggest problem with this movie and why I came to the conclusions I came with. If he was going for both sides, if he was trying to point out the foibles of humanity and the divide we're in, this movie should have been a satire. But this wasn't a satire at all. It was just presenting the craziness of the protesters, the craziness of the conservatives, but provided no social provided no social commentary behind it. Provided no satire, no humor behind it. He's just presenting it, and then you go into the second half, which clearly states that I don't think this guy was anywhere near voting for. I think this guy was a Kamala supporter. All 100.
Look. I think look. The first half is a comedy bordering on satire. I don't know why I thought of this. I thought of the original MASH movie by Robert Altman.
Mm-hmm.
That is a satire. It is a satirical look at the Korean War. It is brilliant. And this, for the first half, and to be fair, I did see it with the audience who was laughing. Everyone bursting out laughing. I feel like it's like an unbottled, like, we can laugh at this now because it was so dumb. And we can look at ourselves and realize, wow, a lot of people acted like assholes. Will they acknowledge that? So I feel like it's more fair that you need to give it more
It
It deserves
no, because I've seen MASH, and I understand.
MASH is great.
MASH was great.
The movie,
but the thing is, the satire should have something to say. This just shows you, it just shows you the worst of both sides, and but it has nothing. It has no.
Let me say real quick, and then I apologize for interrupting. We're passionate, folks.
I know.
When do we ever get one side of the political side ever get criticized or mocked or satirized at all? Never. To see it happen once, it's like, to see you go like, oh my God, finally someone is commenting on the ridiculousness, the stuff about BLM. The one character guy in the sheriff's office, and Michael goes, I didn't even think about that, I didn't even think about race at all until this BLM stuff. He calls it BLMs. BLM stuff happened. I didn't think about it. And it really does. It does poke fun at the protesting, how people are used, white guilt, like so many things that never, ever, never, ever get satirized or made fun of at all in film or media ever. So I give it credit. That first half, I was there.
Okay.
Especially when the dad said, "Are you fucking retarded? You're white." Like, yes.
Right.
Yes, this is stupid.
Yeah.
But
no,
okay.
The point I was trying to make is that there needs to be a point in your satire. You do need to take a side. Or you need to have enough knowledge and have thought about the issue so much that you know how to satirize it. I just felt like he hates a certain side, and he's not gonna go full in ripping into it. So he'll show some of the foibles of the other side. And I'll say this about the Biden ending. I doubt he thought he thought of Biden when writing that role.
No, I'll tell you, they mentioned Biden.
Sure, yeah, they mentioned everybody. They mentioned Trump. They mentioned everybody. But that ending, I would venture to guess that that Ari Aster thought that he was a full mind and body at the end of the election, and that this was a mere coincidence.
We don't know what's in his head. I haven't looked
No,
up.
but yes, I don't know what's in his head, but
I haven't
do know,
looked up interviews with Ari Aster. All I know is what I saw in the film. And look, I'll take a flawed Ari Aster film like all of his movies, Beau is Afraid being the weakest of them, over I Know What You Did Last Summer 2025 freaking rips off itself. It might as well have been made by AI because who cares? I feel like it's worth supporting movies that take chances, try something new. Like, oh my God. And Joaquin Phoenix, the stuff that happens, it's a satire until it's not. Then it ends up being like a total.
It's a criticism at the end.
There's
no doubt about the fact that there's just no doubt as to Ari Aster's politics when you get into that second half. And the other thing, just as a movie, it is too damn long. It's 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Yes.
And it didn't. Oh my God. At the 1 hour and 50-minute mark, I was like, I need this movie to be done. And then it goes into the third act.
Yeah.
Which was like, this is just not going to end. And then everything in this politically is so on the nose. Look, I don't think the vast majority of people walking away with this movie are saying, wow, that was a thoughtful discussion on politics.
Look, we're talking about it now. The point is, this movie is going to force conversations about that first half. You can look at, and I do feel like in a way this is like a Rorschach test, right? It's like you look at it, you're taking away. I'm not saying that you are wrong in your observations, Alan. I'm not calling you out. I'm not saying you're wrong. I don't do that. When I have discussions about film, I don't say you're wrong. I know other critics that do that. I don't do that. I want to hear what you have to, what did you get out of it? Here's what I got out of it. We'll discuss. But you're not wrong. I'm not going to say your opinion is wrong. I'm saying I saw it differently. And I think to see a critique of the left and the way people used those rules to shame me, to shame you, that whole mask bullshit, which we find out now is bullshit, to see it criticized in a way in a movie and what this mind virus did to people, it's refreshing. That's all I'm saying. And
well,
I say to everyone watching, go see this movie for yourself. Go see for yourself.
Okay, so let me say this about the first act, in terms of we'll have a discussion about it. The problem is we've had the discussion and one side won, and it's about the masculinity. The second thing is if we're going to have a discussion based on this movie, that discussion is thrown out the window with the second half, because that second half is going to piss off half of America, and I don't think if that was the intention, I don't think that's going to happen at the end of it.
Well, the problem is, Joaquin Phoenix is amazing in this movie. And Pedro Pascal is actually good. He plays a great a-hole. He's Gavin Newsom, effectively, like a low-rent Gavin, just corporate-controlled BS. And, I just feel like you're with Joaquin until what happens in the middle. And that's the problem, that act.
Yeah.
So
well, let me just throw this thing in. Pedro and Joaquin, they're not known necessarily for being thoughtful when it comes to politics.
Well,
I don't think that comes across in this movie at all.
Right. Well, I think Pedro is overcast and he's vocal politically, and that's why people don't like him. And many things can be true at once. He's also a great actor. And I'm told by someone who saw Fantastic Four, he's actually good as Reed. Make of that what you will. I know someone who saw it.
We'll know on Monday.
But he's very good in this. I want to get to your comments and whatnot.
I'll say he was really good in The Materialist. I liked him.
He was really good in The Materialist. So he's a good actor. He's in too many things. Alan, do you recommend it?
No.
Well, I'm recommending it. I'm not saying Alan is wrong. I'm saying I got something different out of the movie. I can't stop thinking about it. And I think it is a movie I will remember in a year of mostly crap. I'll take something flawed over crap. Like I Know What You Did Last Summer, which was crap.
Yeah. I wanted to have your opinion midway through the first act. I really wanted it to feel like it was a satire about the 2020. But I could only cope so much to where at one point it was just the
movie does some great things where it shows like even popular memes. It's like there's the meme where they show the galaxy and there's a little arrow pointing. It says you are here paying taxes to pedophiles. Like it's like great. The movie, there's a lot of people like Instagram plays into the plot. Like you see the black squares, like to satirize that period. Maybe it should have been a straight comedy. That would have been better. It gets dark in the second half, but I still say worth seeing.
Should have been a comedy period.
Should have been a comedy period. On that we agree. Let's go to comments.
The Nerd Far Away. I swear I've heard this plot before.
Yes.
Yeah, we lived it. Garth Knight Returns. Big Brother Death House has a lot of potential. Zero Redux. Does it have a scene where 24 Hollywood actors tell you to trust the science?
It doesn't do that, but it so mocks like white kids at BLM. It's funny.
Tim is not funny. Brilliant, using a small town as a microcosm to reflect our national unrest on a very personal and human scale. Yeah, I got that. I definitely got that from the movie. MK Solid 82. Chris is all fired up and tensions are high. Olo Liukui. You can't have both sides because it's not politics. It's called being a decent human being.
Yeah.
Laura Buckles. I just can't see that time in a satirical, humorous way. Sorry, this is a hard no for me.
That's fair. Fair comment.
ADLs. This is why I like Film Threat. Real reviews are EAL reviews.
There you go. Alan, let's get to our last review today before we go to our interview. Alan, you saw the movie Guns N' Moses. That's quite a title there.
Yeah.
Obviously a play.
It's quite a film.
Yeah, quite a film. Tell me about Guns N' Moses, Alan.
Yes. So in Guns N' Moses, it opens with our lead character here, Rabbi Mo, played by Mark Feuerstein. He is a rabbi in a beloved high desert California town. There's a big solar plant coming in, and one of the rabbi's best friends is being honored for having spearheaded this giant solar farm in the middle of the high desert. And his name is Alan Rosner, played by Dermot Mulrooney. During that ceremony, a sniper bullet kills him and starts firing upon the crowd. And now the film is about who killed Alan Rosner. The obvious evidence goes to this kind of white supremacist skinhead kid who the rabbi had an encounter with the day before. And of course, all roads lead to that kid. But there was something about that kid that the rabbi saw that said that maybe he's not as bad as everyone thinks he is. And against everyone's wishes, against the police who think they already have the case wrapped up, against the community, the rabbi decides to defend the kid and find out who the real killer is. And when he does, the rabbi is now placed in danger, forcing him to do something he's never done before, and that's learn gun training from his bodyguard. And that's the movie here. It's kind of an interesting movie because this is a very Jewish movie. You take your typical standard action film, and then you make it Jewish. It's like taking a action film and making it Asian, so it's all karate and stuff like that. They're just bringing a lot of culture into it in a very respectful way. Look, I like it because it's different. I like it because it's interesting, and I like it because it was handled well. It's just a world that I'm not as familiar as I should be. But I found this world interesting, the idea of the Jewish culture and how they view guns, how they view violence, and then the whole political angle of it. It is a fairly standard action movie, and so it falls in line with that, but it's got that Jewish spin to it. So I give it a mild recommendation. Yeah.
Is it like a Jewish Death Wish?
In a way, I think it's lighter than that. The movie does oscillate between light and dark tones. It gets pretty violent at times, but it's pretty. There's definitely bits of I would not silly comedy, but humorous moments. So a recommendation for me, and it's in theaters.
Let's go to comments here.
Pookie Malibu, member 12. A24 has gone from cool indie niche films to mostly slop now.
Well, no, I disagree. I think I like A24. They take risks. What I love the idea of is the people that normally go to A24 movies probably wear masks and are going to see this movie because it's Ari Aster. They're in for a surprise. I feel like they will see themselves and maybe see how ridiculous.
In terms of taking risks, though, Y2K was not
Y2K
the
was
risk.
terrible.
It sounded like they had a great film on their hand and they ruined it.
Yeah.
Because of that. Pookie Malibu for 5. Does the Hebrew Hammer make a cameo?
No, unfortunately. No. Does not. Hey, guess what? What we like to do at Film Threat is interview indie filmmakers. We bring you indie filmmakers of all types on the channel to tell us about their movies. Because here at Film Threat, sure, you can go to the theater, you can see Superman or superhero movies and horror and blah, blah. But hey, there are a ton of indie filmmakers out there making their movies and releasing them. And we like to feature them here on the show. So let's talk to the filmmakers behind ZombieCON. Let's hear what they have to say. Hey, welcome to this. Is the first time we've had a baby on the show. This is awesome. Congratulations. Wow.
Thank you. This is
That's great. Welcome the filmmakers behind ZombieCON Volume 1, director Kyle Valle and actress Erin Áine. And I pronounced all that terrible, didn't I?
A little bit.
That's okay. All right.
Correct me, please. Correct me, please, if you would.
Valle and Áine.
Valle and Áine. I should know that. I should know that. Hey, tell us about ZombieCON Volume 1.
So ZombieCON follows a group of 4 cosplaying best friends after this one or her wishes on a magic rock, turning all of the assholes in the world into zombies. So,
well, I kind of feel like we're living through that time right now.
Yeah.
What led to this? I mean, I love the premise. It's a zombie outbreak at a convention, which, having gone to many conventions in my time, you do see people dressed as zombies. How do you distinguish between a cosplaying zombie and a real zombie?
Well, luckily, the convention happens and we kind of set up our arch villain, who are the kind of cosplaying competitors who undercut our heroes. And luckily, helping distinguish it, the outbreak doesn't happen until after the convention. So luckily, there's no kind of offing someone in a costume and creating a little bit of an issue.
We didn't quite have the budget to do it at the convention. Yeah. So that happened quite before.
Were you inspired by just going to conventions?
Yeah, I mean, I've been going to cons since I was really small. Probably like a Star Trek convention was probably one of my first ones. But honestly, it kind of came from a love of Clerks and like Shaun of the Dead and trying to merge a bunch of fandoms in, but really tying in kind of the anime perspective. just because I hadn't really, they've tried to remake animes, live action. They don't usually work. So this is kind of like a fandom take on the entire genre through the lens of zombies.
Hey, I have the trailer queued up from the Film Threat Trailers channel. Although you can find the trailer a lot of places. Let's take a look at the trailer and then we'll go to questions from our audience. Here we go.
I know what you're thinking. Freak, geek, you've heard it all. We're cosplayers. A couple times every year, we make our pilgrimage to the cons.
Welcome to the regional qualifier for the national competition.
The federal government has declared a state of martial law and has warned all citizens to stay indoors. As the now confirmed outbreak begins to spread outside the border of Los Angeles.
Great, so the whole city is zombies?
What are you guys doing in your costumes?
We're about to go cross this godforsaken city, and we gonna fight whatever should be out there.
Now that the world is on fire, let there be no doubt. There is a point for all of those free of this curse to join us. Ready to room, Mom.
Why don't you stick around? We love to have you for dinner.
Sweet.
You know, when I saw the film, I got the sense that you just had all your friends make a movie with you.
And that's the only way we could afford to do it, to be honest. So yeah, we drug them all in. This is obviously before Punky Johnson was obviously on SNL or kind of broke out a little bit, and actually before she was named Punky. So in the script, she's named Punky, which made it all the more confusing once the movie came out. And yeah, they both probably loved and hated us at times. I think the worst part was the blood, which we used ample amounts of.
Oh, so much blood. It was so hard to wash out. I mean, it was everywhere, not just hair, clothes, the set. We filmed a large portion of it. The apartment scene was actually where we lived at the time. And we were still finding blood stains on random walls when we moved out years ago.
It's funny, Bruce Campbell famously slept in his makeup. It was too much of a pain to take off. He'd wake up sticky to shoot more. So,
yeah. And
I feel that.
Probably happened more than once. Our makeup artist, Joe DeBresco, who was on the Sci-Fi Channel makeup series. Face Off, yeah. But he actually slept on the couch where we killed two zombies. And we had this thing wrapped in plastic, and every single morning he'd wake up with just a giant patch of dried blood on his back, and he'd just get straight to work making up the next zombie.
The other thing I liked about your movie was it really gave me that 90s vibe. Especially that low budget. I called it low budget trauma movie.
Nice.
but I do like. I mean, what are your influences? And was this visual style because of necessity, or was that something you were going for?
I think it's a little bit of both. It was just trying to make it work with the tools we had. I mean, the entire film was shot for $60K, and a lot of that was just spent acquiring gear. No one got paid, obviously. It's just a complete passion of love. And in regards to influences, I was trying to kind of
a complete passion of love.
Yes.
So, but trying to do a little bit of anime camera work, and we had a small technical issue that made the camera work a little bit more difficult. The Ronin, 2 of the batteries came from China, and they were completely inoperable. And we didn't have any money to get new batteries. So, for half the movie, I was kind of holding the camera with my teeth in the yoke, trying to keep it stable as we were doing shots.
It was an athletic feat for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I've gained a little weight since then.
Hey, we've got over 1,500 people watching live, and we've got a bunch of questions from our audience. Before I go to those questions, where can people see the movie?
Anywhere. It's VOD right now, so anywhere movies are sold, Fandango at home, Apple TV, Amazon. I think it's on the satellite channels. It's basically everywhere.
But if you go to at ZombieCon Movie, our socials, in the bio, we have a link to everything. So you can find where to buy it, rent it. It's out now, basically everywhere movies are rented and sold.
Yeah.
I love that. Let's get to comments here. Alan, are you ready?
Yes.
Here we go.
All right. From Tony Elias. I love the concept.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Caveat ties. How did you gather your crew?
Oh, nice.
So it was, again, through friends that we made in LA, either through acting classes, and then we had done a bunch of small projects, short films and stuff prior to it. And we just kind of rolled everyone over and into the projects. We actually met our DP through another producer friend of ours, and they had all gone to film school together. And this was kind of everyone's first chance to try to do something with any amount of a real budget behind it. So it's just, again, everyone gave their all, and it was a tremendous passion of love.
And we chose people that we wanted to work with because it was such a small team. I mean, communication was everything. And
okay.
Yes.
I think Anya's sorry, Grandpa.
Yay.
Yeah.
We've got Grandpa standing by just in case. We're trying to break her in early. Figure we can get a good baby comedy on this. Free actors, it's fantastic.
Yeah, you got to work on that fast. From the nerd far away. Oh my god! Oh, OMG! The premise is hilarious.
Thank you very much.
And I like how it plays out throughout the film.
Thank you, Alan.
Which is great. Erin Howell. The smell of the average convention probably inspired the thought of the undead. Nerds in groups. Am I right?
It is one of those inside jokes that it's for a reason. It's so hot. Everyone's so packed in. It's line con all the times. Like, yeah, it gets really stinky.
I can't really judge because I'm one of the people who smells bad.
It depends on cosplay you're wearing because you might not have a chance to smell good.
That's
no matter
true.
What.
Yeah. Volume 2 should involve con crud. Suns and Shadows cast. How do you feel your zombie movie separates you from other zombie films? Oh, you need to see the movie. That's how.
Yes, that's how.
I can't.
It's very different. Yeah.
Zombie films that involve cosplayers. So
yeah,
I think right off the bat there, it's a totally different animal. I mean, you certainly have the zombie tropes in some way, but it takes it and turns it on its head. And I like to think that we introduce a couple different elements with the zombies too. Alan would know that make it a little bit different in that way too.
Yep. All right, the nerd far away. Hail ZombieCon makers. We all know number one rule of zombie movies: kill shots is in the head. What would you say is rule number 2?
See there, I'd have to say you kind of have to watch the movie because we may play with that a little bit.
Yeah.
I guess number 2 is generally like don't make a sound. Like at least stay as hidden as you can.
Yeah, or just be armed to the teeth.
Oh, that helps.
So a stockpile of
That
weapons.
Yeah, or don't be an asshole. All right, Jake Spouter 69. Wow, this has to be the youngest FT interview of all time. I wish Baby Alan interviewed. LOL. Yeah. Let's see, Robert Thompson Watson. I want to hear from the baby. Royston Bailey. What's the baby's name? I'm not going to be able to focus on zombies. LOL.
Her name is Anya. So.
Anya's my middle name, stage name. I go by Erin Áine. Anya's her first name. So it's all
that's great.
Yes.
And we
great.
definitely didn't bring her on to help promote the film at all.
Decision.
ADL's 24. What's the biggest difference in the script writing process between Volume 1 and the 2018 original? Was it a challenge not to completely repeat yourself while still staying true to the original story and tone?
So the original one and Volume 1 are actually one and the same. We had been basically, again, super low budget. We did everything ourselves for post-production, and we were stuck learning. I didn't go to school for filmmaking. I'm self-taught. Erin's was a child star, so she's been around the business, but we had to learn all of the technical specs. Audio, post-production is a beast. Hats off to every audio engineer out there. because it's probably the most difficult part of the entire process. And through the course of the years, we had some showings at film festivals trying to gauge test audience reactions and using film festivals to do that. We did not know IMDb, once you show at a festival, makes it so that your film is released even if it's still being worked on. So we had to kind of work with them and figure out a way around. Luckily, there is a ZombieCon Volume 2, 3, 4, and 5 that are already written. So it was always meant to be a kind of universe. Again, this is kind of like the OP of an anime. Introduce the characters, set up the world mechanic, and then with each volume, you kind of get a few more details sprinkled in, building to a pretty epic final movie, which, you know, if someone out there's got $100 million, I've got a movie for you.
It worked for Terrifier. Oh, why couldn't it work for you?
And here's the website, ZombieCon VOL1. That's number1.com is the website. It's got all the info. Watch it July 15th. It's got links. I love your poster too, by the way. What a great poster. Check that out. Heroes will rise, undead will fall. It looks that looks awesome. So all the info is there at the official website, ZombieCon Volume 1. Thank you so much for joining us on the show today. This was great. Anything else you want to plug?
Actually, yeah. That thing behind us, we managed to do the next film even cheaper. This one was, I think the budget was about $7,000. And it's called It's Watching. So it's going to start hitting the festivals later this year.
Wow. So always keep working. That's great. Kyle, Erin, thank you so much for joining us. Congrats on your child. That is awesome. We love to see it. And thank you for joining us on the show today. It's been fun.
Thank you guys so much for having us. It means the world, and obviously love the channel. And you guys are always a welcome relief to very busy post-production days for sure.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I listen to a lot of podcasts in the background myself, so thank you so much. And we'll see you at a con. I mean, are you going to LA Comic-Con? That's where we met, right?
Yeah, that's where we met. We're not going to be, because we just moved to Georgia from California.
Wow.
Again, baby changes the finances, forces you to make life decisions. And we are going to go to Dragon Con. I think we have a panel there.
I will be at Dragon Con. I will be there. So I'll see you there. But so you moved to somewhere where you can afford a house.
Well, not just yet. We sold our apartment and I bought the Ari Alexa.
So
you have priorities.
It's great.
So we're living with grandparents right now. But if you go out there and buy ZombieCon and 1 million of your friends do, we might be able to get that house.
Great. Well, congrats. I'll see you at Dragon Con in late August. And congrats on the film. Go check it out. ZombieCon, VOL number1.com. Go there or just look it up on your favorite service. Thank you so much for joining us on the show today. Take care.
Thanks so much, guys.
See you guys. See ya. I love that. I love talking to indie filmmakers. It's my favorite thing to do.
Yeah, they're just starting their careers, just starting a family. I mean,
well, I'm jealous of Atlanta. I looked at homes there. I could almost afford one, or at least to rent one. I mean, it's no California, that's for sure. But what a lively show today, Alan.
Yeah,
what a lively show. We agreed on Medea. We disagreed on Eddington.
Oh my gosh.
We got
box office wise, I will be right. I will.
Well, we will be next week is a big week. Programming note versus as normal on Monday. Then we are seeing Fantastic Four Monday night. We'll do an out of the theater review. We may do a reaction stream. And then 9 a.m. on Tuesday next week, Hollywood on the Rocks, we're reviewing FF. Okay.
So Tuesday morning.
We get that out of the way. Wednesday, no stream and no Nerdrotic Nooner.
We're all traveling.
Thursday live stream from San Diego, and our panel. We will do our panel on Thursday. Alan will be there. I'm going to work you onto the panel, Alan.
Okay.
I have to work you onto the panel.
I mean, you could just have me sit up there.
You could sit up there. I need the assist.
Yeah.
I need help. But yeah, here it is. All the info you need. Follow us on social. We've got that. We've got our meetup that's Saturday, July 26th. That's also happening. So go check that out. I've got too many tabs open, Alan. I've decided. The fan meetup, Saturday, July 26th at Urban Cold Fire Pizza. But we will be all over San Diego Comic-Con. So, and then we're doing our normal show Friday morning. And then we might do it earlier, 8 a.m. And then a live stream on Saturday. So next week we are busy. Watch the channel and set your notifications.
And we are doing signings as well.
We're doing a signing at Gabe Al-Tayyib's booth.
Do we have a date and time on that?
Yeah, you can find out, Alan.
I have been trying to find out and I can't find it.
Okay, great.
But if someone would just to tell me when it was, I can get on my calendar and not miss
great.
it.
Thank you, everyone in the chat. Your comments, questions, super chats. We appreciate the support. Go to shop.filmthreat.com. We have our nerd collection being featured. And your last chance to get the American AF collection. And I want to say thanks to our mod, MK Solid. Lord Thoth, he's absent today, but that's okay. Some people, I realize people do have lives. So there you go. And thanks to Atomic Lori and Lanuccio. Thanks to Alan. Even though you disagreed with my Eddington review.
I like to think of it as you were wrong about your Eddington review.
Well, I don't think of, when I hear other opinions that I don't agree with, I don't think of those people as wrong. Okay? That's a philosophy I have. Same things maybe when it comes to certain other things. I think, well, I'm not going to wear a mask. I don't think the people that are wearing them are wrong. I might judge them and think maybe you don't need to wear it, or maybe you're ugly, or maybe you're going to engage in retail theft and you need to hide your face. I don't judge. But
so my take on Jor-El not being a big deal, that I don't think that's wrong.
I disagree. I don't think it's wrong. There is a distinction. Okay? There's a distinction. So that is, I like debate. I like debate.
Everyone's saying I'm wrong about about Jor-El.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not going to say you're wrong. I'm saying I see it differently. I see it differently. But that's it for us. See you versus on Monday. And Alan, do you have anything to say?
Yeah, let's get out of here.